Alright, folks, so today I'm here talking about the truth of the Kaepernick situation. Now, many people talk about the Kaepernick situation sort of from their perspective, but I try to give a whole unbiased opinion. So, the Kaepernick situation, how it started. Around this time, people don't really talk about is there was a whole discussion during the 2016 off season, right up to the preseason, even during the preseason, that Colin Kaepernick going to be cut. There's so many articles saying, they're going to cut this guy. This guy should be cut. I mean, he's owed 11.9 million. He's not playing up to that contract, that paid amount. So, there's serious consideration to cut him. And he's known for the kneeling, but if I remember correctly, he started off sitting down. And some people actually say that he was sulking. He wasn't really trying to make a protest. He was sulking. After the game, he says, I'm making a stand against, oppression to black men, black people. And, all of a sudden the whole thing changed. And instead of going from a guy who's cut, everyone starts talking about how he should be kept in the league. Everyone tries to find value with him as a quarterback. And this never happened. This would never happen if he never took a stand. A bunch of people started joining along in the protests. Of course, he got even those his teammates that first didn't join in with them. They started joining him, and what bothered me the most probably is the fact that people started comparing him to an Ali, and I'm gonna talk about that later in this video. But he became sort of an activist, a sort of figure. And now, if fast forward to today, he's not in the league. He had, if you look at just the stats, he had a decent season, a pretty good season. There's a touchdown interception ratio. He did have 9 fumbles, total fumbles, not including not just ones that were lost, all fumbles, even ones that were recovered by his team. But I mean, there are articles, and I'll link one in the description, about how he's not a good quarterback. And, film goes both ways. Some people say they'll show film showing how he's a good quarterback. He still has something to bring to the league, and other people will say he has things that it's hard for him to be picked up as a quarterback. Now, him not being in the league, and this has to be said, this is not debatable, is not completely football related. He's not in the league because he's not at that level football wise to compensate for the distraction he's bringing. And that's just a fact. He's bringing a distraction. Lesean McCoy said it best. He's not that good where you sit back and you say, I can handle this distraction. You're paying this guy millions of dollars to win games, which he hasn't been winning, by the way. That's the most important stat for a quarterback, is wins. Not touchdowns or interceptions, wins. He hasn't been winning a lot of games. So if you're a team, let's say like the Colts, you're probably not trying to bring that much distraction, even though he's a clear upgrade over Tolzien. We haven't seen that much from Brissett to make that claim, but he's an upgrade. But is he really worth the upgrade if you have to continue to deal with that distraction? No. So, of course, it's not entirely a football decision, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that protest what he brings off the field, that's a tough thing for teams to handle. But I'm gonna go back to Ali. People compare it to Ali. This is his Ali moment. If he's really Ali, there should be no issue with him suffering right now, because Ali had to suffer. People forget that. When you decide not to go along in the draft, that's huge. Even today, when there's no draft, not putting yourself into that draft process, that selective service, costs you so many benefits as a citizen, and also can land you in jail during that time period, fines. So, even Ali, he was stripped from titles, couldn't box. He even had to go to the Supreme Court. So for people to say complaining that Kaepernick's not in the league. He's not making money. I mean, he's not really suffering. He's made so much money during his career, and obviously the 49ers didn't want to pay him 14 plus million to keep him. So for him to sit out 1 year, maybe come back the next year, is that really? If you're gonna call him Ali, are you gonna complain about that? I don't think you should. I think people need to just accept the fact that if he wants to be an activist, football is not for him right now. You have to pick one or the other. You can't try and I mean you could try to be both, but you can't complain if teams don't want to handle your distraction. You know. So if he's gonna become Ali, he wants to be considered in that realm of activism like an Ali. And this is what he has to go through. He has to deal with the adversity of not being able to play, to continue to put in work and prove that he can be a quarterback off the field. You know, there's going to be always a door open for him because he has some unique talent. It's just not going to be right away in the NFL. He has to work his way up if he really wants to be in the same sphere as Ali.